Hello there fellow viewer, my name is Gabriel and today I'm here to talk to you about how my month of November went by. Before I say anything else, I would like to apologize for not filming, not editing, not uploading, not putting out absolutely any content for the last month and a half. My life has been crazy. Of course, when I say life, I mean school, because let's face it, I have no life. Unfortunately, there has been so much on my hands that I just cannot handle the effort that it takes to film and to upload, and I always say this, but I do not want my channel to feel forced. So I only film and upload when I feel like that is going to compensate my subscribers and not bomb them with unwanted and forced content. I'm here today to talk about how wonderful my last month has been. This past November, so many wonderful things happened, and I really want to share them with you. Most of them are not book related, but I still feel this urge to document the greatness of this past month. First thing I'm going to talk about is obviously books. Unfortunately, this past November, I did not finish one single book, and honestly, it isn't with much sadness that I say this, because I have made peace with the fact that I can't read nearly as much as I did when I was on break. So I have been pretty okay with the fact that I haven't been reading that much. Not finishing a book does not mean, however, that I have not been reading. The very first book that I picked up in November was a book that I had been anticipating so much. I really wanted to get my hands on this book. I wanted it to be in English, and I wanted it to be the only book that took up my time, because I knew it was going to drain me. And that book is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. First book in his extremely well-known A Song of Ice and Fire series. At the beginning of the school year, when I knew absolutely no one, I was just talking and I mentioned that I watched Game of Thrones, and someone else mentioned that they had too and they had the first book, and I say, oh, you have the first book. And then they mentioned that it's in English, and I'm just, you have the first book in English. And then she just blurs, would you like me to borrow it to you? And I was just like, yes, of course I do. This is officially the longest book that I have ever attempted to finish. This is exactly 800 pages long. It's a trade paperback. The paper is thinner, the font is smaller, and it has taken me so long to get to page 648. I have taken a break because, again, this book is very draining. I am really liking it. I definitely think that it deserves all the hype that it's getting. Even before I started watching the television show, I knew that Game of Thrones would work better as a book series. The book has just completely confirmed it. In the novel, we just get this completely solid and extremely well-built world that George R.R. Martin writes beautifully. And even though this is a high fantasy, I just appreciate how real George R.R. Martin writes these books. I do want to finish it this month, probably during Christmas break, because that is when I will be doing everything. The second book was a book that I have been wanting to read for a year. November 2014 was when I read The Selection by Kiera, and it was a book I enjoyed. I really wanted to continue with it. I met another friend who absolutely loves the series, and she had the second book, and I just had to ask for her to borrow it. So this is The Elite by Kiera, the second book in the Selection trilogy. Now, I was a little bit hesitant because everyone speaks so badly about this book. They hate it with a passion, and I have to admit I was a tiny bit scared that it wouldn't live up to my expectations, but the truth is this book is so much better than I was anticipating. It's honestly funny. People are saying this book made them hate the whole trilogy. America's Singer is extremely annoying. As of now, I have not witnessed this. True, I have not finished the book. I am 3/4 in, maybe a little bit further. Maybe she only gets truly annoying towards the end, but as of right now, I am really liking it. Just like The Selection, this book goes by so fast. It's filled with dialogue. It just flows from one scene to the next. I think it really works. I do feel like America is a bit childish, I do have to say, but not nearly as much as everyone was making her out to be in The Elite. I'm really looking forward to finishing it, which is probably happening this next week. I'm really liking it, and it is a very quick read. That is all that I read for the month of November. 648 pages of Game of Thrones divided by 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the rest of the wonderful things that happened in the month of November. Mostly all of them center around one thing. Now, if you do not know, my father has been working abroad for the past 1 year and 3 months now, and on November 6th he came back. He is currently at home which makes us all so very happy. We hadn't seen him for more than a year and 2 months, so it was a very long time. I spent the whole of 9th grade without my dad, which was sad, of course, but now we are just immensely happy that he's here. He's going to spend Christmas. It's been amazing, and of course, he has brought books. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the books that he has bought me. Maybe a month or so before his trip, I asked him to buy me the first 3 books in a series that I had been wanting for a very long time. And so he made the favor of buying the first 3 books in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This is obviously a book series that you have heard about. Everyone talks about it, and I'm finally going to jump on the bandwagon with these books. I am extremely excited to start Throne of Glass. Everyone hypes these books up extremely much, so I'm excited to see what the fuss is all about. He got me the beautiful United Kingdom paperbacks, and sure, the hardbacks look prettier, but I could not complain. I'm extremely excited to pick up these books, which is obviously going to be happening during the Christmas break. I'm going to be marathoning these books, just very excited. So he had bought these 3 books, and meanwhile Queen of Shadows came out, and I asked him, hey Dad, the 4th book in the series that you bought me has come out, and I would really like for you to go and buy it so I could just have all of them that are out. Maybe 2-3 days before he came, he went to the bookstore, and he just sent me a message saying he bought it. So I immediately assumed that it was Queen of Shadows. He came home, he was unpacking, and he was giving me the books, and he said, so unfortunately I went to the bookstore and they didn't have the last book that you wanted, but they had another one, and I thought you'd find it interesting, and I bought it. And he takes out of the bag an extremely beautiful edition of An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This is a hardback. It was brand new, it was still in the plastic wrapping, and I immediately leaped up and hugged him because I was not expecting it at all. I was so pleasantly surprised. And the fact that this cost the equivalent of €10, which is approximately $9, a brand new hardback, just made me so much happier. Just very, very happy about this book. The only things I have heard about this book are immensely positive. I'm extremely excited to see what happened in this book. I know for a fact that this is set in kind of a Romanized culture, and it is perfect because that is what my next history test is about. It just fits perfectly, and I'm extremely excited to start it. Now, another book that is much more recent that I bought yesterday actually. My school was having the book fair, and I had never bought an actual book in a book fair, so I took my money and I chose a book. I saw this cover and I was just completely entranced, and that is Fallen Angels by Highland. That is the original title of this book. In Portuguese, it has been translated to O Peso da Fama, which means the weight of fame. This is kind of a mystery set in San Francisco, 1958, about a child left in an orphanage and an actress that attempts suicide, and how these 2 happenings are intertwined. I thought it was extremely interesting. This cover is beautiful, so again, probably going to be read during Christmas break. The next thing that my dad bought me has also hugely influenced the way that I spend my time. I honestly already count this activity as school. It means so much to me. I don't know if you remember, but when I put up my Q&A videos, I mentioned that this crazy idea had sprouted in my brain of playing the violin. And so my dad, being a music teacher and a choral conductor, I talked to him and I said, hey Dad, it would mean the world if you bought a violin and I could start having lessons. And he was extremely happy. He got in touch and he was able to get me a violin, and I am so extremely happy that this happened because it's been amazing. I have just loved playing this instrument so much. If opportunities arise and if it is possible, I would like to do this for the rest of my life. In the next maybe 3 years, I'll see if that's possible, but I will do my best so that it happened. I had my very first violin lesson yesterday and it was pretty great. It was the very first time that I played with another violin, and the sound is just liquid gold. I had been teaching myself for the past month. Obviously nothing major yet, but I am hoping for it to become exactly that, a major thing in my life. I play the violin at least for half an hour every day because it's something that I want to do, and it's something that I know I have to sacrifice a lot of time. So yes, it has made me extremely happy that my dad bought a violin. The next thing that happened was completely unexpected, and I will kind of have to fill you in. It has been no secret that unfortunately my family does not find itself in the best of financial situation. To families like me, the state awards a certain amount of money if they get good grades, and I did get what I consider pretty great grades, so I received money from the state. My mom told me I was going to get money, but I had this maximum quantity of what I was going to receive. I had no idea it was going to be at the start of this school year. I thought it was going to take much longer, and I thought at the most they would give me a certain amount. They called us and they said that the money had been transferred. It was double what I had in mind, and so I just found myself with a lot of money. I started thinking,
what am I going to do? This is amazing, but I can spend it all on books. I can spend some of it on books. I can just...
My dad immediately told me that this is the first time I have so much money. It is kind of a test to see what I spend it on, what I waste it on, so I knew that it was going to be a pretty great responsibility. So I got to thinking, and the first thing that I wanted to get was a new cell phone, which happened. I'm really happy with this investment. I really wanted a new phone. I found myself capable of buying one, and that is exactly what I did. I do not regret it at all. Besides the violin, it's kind of been my new non-person best friend. I also really want to spend some money on books. I want to spend what I consider, you know, acceptable in the literary world, and I do plan on buying some books. Probably not now. I am going to resist temptation and probably wait for the summer, which is just very far away. I really want to have books that last me all summer because the past few summers have been completely bookless, and I do not want that to repeat itself, so I will hold my urges and splurge during the summer. Except, of course, for books like, I don't know, Winter and Their Fractured Light and Magnus Chase. I don't think I can wait that long to buy those books. And the next thing that happened, I'm still kind of reeling from all of it. Fairly recent, actually, yesterday. So mid-November, I had this money. I could spend it on whatever I wanted. Adele's 25 comes out, her new album, which is just, I listen to it and I'm just, whoa, how is it possible that music sounds so amazingly celestial? It's just, so I started listening to Adele, and this is listening non-stop. This is just song after song after song, repeat song after song after song, and it's just, it takes over my life. A few days later, Adele announces her European tour, and she just so happens to be pit stopping in Portugal, which is just, I'm very excited. And yesterday the tickets went on sale. Within hours, the first concert for the 21st of May ran out. I was on the bus stop to go to Lisbon to the violin lesson when my friend calls me in, and she's nearly in tears. She's saying, the tickets have run out, what are we going to do? So she picked herself up and she went to another place that also sold the tickets. I couldn't go with her because, again, I was in the violin lesson. And so I get home and she says that she was able to get tickets for Sunday the 22nd, which is amazing, and I'm so excited. This is going to be my very first concert. Every single one of my classmates talks about how wonderful and how great and how exciting usually summer festivals are, and that is just not my thing at all. Adele just speaks to me so much more than all of the other current artists, and I think that her being my debut at a concert is just, it's amazing, and I just really wanted to share that. I am really truly happy. This past month was just amazing, and I never thought that it could be really this great without me reading or without books being really involved. We all, obviously in school, we had tests and we received all of our grades, and I'm happy with most of them, and just, it's been an amazing month, and I really hope that in December I get to film some more videos for you guys, because I really want to get back into this filming, and now Christmas is coming up and I want to wear the Christmas hat in front of the camera again. So that is everything that I have for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Here's hoping that someone out there missed me. My subscriber count has grown besides my wildest hopes because I haven't been uploading at all, and so it means so much to me that you guys have not been abandoning me. Let's hope that you enjoyed me talking about this past month, which has been really great for me, and let's hope December is equally amazing. I really hope that you stay tuned for my next videos, and as always, keep your day an extremely bookish one, which is an advice that I really should start to follow. Goodbye!